And so we don't even have to go all the way through her testimonial and things, because much like she did in the session, she did on stand. She described a hell of a lot of concepts, symptoms, things of that nature, that are all things that could very well point to the fact that those are reasons why he could and would kill someone, let alone Wendy. But explaining it in a way like, oh, he could never do that because of these things. That is a lie. That is a lie. Because no, like for instance, even with bipolar disorder, even with the sexual trauma, and I talk about this a lot, just because someone has a mental disorder doesn't mean that they're going to automatically respond to it in the same way that several other people may respond to it. So, for instance, there may be a hell of a lot of serial killers, rapists, abusers, and things of that nature that have bipolar disorder. But every single person that has bipolar disorder is not a rapist, abuser, predator, all of that. Okay? So that's the double-edged sword of the thing. And when you're not acknowledging that, that's problematic, and it's holes in your statements, because that's not a fact. That's not a clear fact. When things are double-edged like that, it's not a straight up fact. It's just not. Because again, every single person that's been sexually abused does not become an abuser of any sort. However, most of the time, if not all, people who are sexual predators have been sexually abused. Okay? So, again, you saying a bunch of shit like it's just straight up facts. You're making generalized statements. Like, in simple terms, these are generalized statements about shit that is a spectrum. I'm gonna say that again. These are generalized statements about shit that is a spectrum, let alone in a courtroom. And this is another thing that makes me feel like in real life and on this show, it's gonna come a point where the defense is gonna be called to the carpet to enhance their methods. Like, even when it comes to jury selection, like, I feel like juries at some point are going to be a thing of the past. Like, as we know them, I feel like it's not gonna be just the random selection type shit. Because I know it's not so random, but in a way it is quite random. Like, there is a lot of calculations and shit that go into it. But yeah, I feel like sooner than later, there is going to be some sort of like regulative protocol group, company, or something that facilitates a process for people to become jurors. Like, and they will have to be trained in similar ways that police, lawyers, criminal investigators, and such are. They're going to have to be trained to be able to pick up on the signs and symbols of people being deceptive, even the lawyers. That's what I sense. That's what I suspect. Because, like, I said it a million times, I don't really have to say it again, but their defense is honestly bogus. Like, their defense is some shit that I would expect to go off without a hitch in like 1990 and before. But it's going off right now, like, I guess because it's a hell of a lot of shit going on. It's a hell of a lot of distractions going on. Also, the weight that Jax's name holds now, her being a partner. So what she also, I feel like, with that being said, doesn't recognize is a privilege that she already has, let alone how she's wielding it, right? Again, becoming what she despises. Because in a lot of the things that she's saying and doing, and I even feel like this is happening with the judge, amongst like this black solidarity thing, I also feel like is going on. But also, I feel like there are people that have power, like I said, the judge, amongst others, that are overlooking the flaws that Jax is putting down, the holes that are in her defenses and things of that nature, because of the fact that she's partner, her name is on the building, and how many credentials that she has. And that's why it's important to keep reevaluating the material, because it's very easy to be like, oh, I've always done all of these other things right, and I've always done all of these things, and it's always going right. Well, one of the most consistent things about life is change. And at certain points, you could be doing a hell of a lot of methods that work for you for 10 plus years. But once you hit that 13th year, the universe says, time's up, bitch. It's time to evolve. But yeah, child, in a nutshell, Autumn, she does pretty well when it comes to Jax being up there, but then Exotic White Man got up there and basically said some of the same shit that I was on. Like, it sounded like you done got all emotionally involved with your client, you blinded, you too heartfelt with him to the point that it's like he playing you coming off like you done got Casanova by him, and she like, oh, ain't no way, and da 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 da. And I know that there's this underlying thing like, oh, that couldn't possibly happen to me because I'm gay. But no, you're a woman conditioned in this patriarchal society, and just like studs can be pick-me's, so can you. If you don't face that reality within yourself and unpack it, make peace with it, release it, you end up perpetuating it. Tisk! Now, at the conclusion of that court date, we get to the next day, and Jax is talking to Bill, and she's like, they had a win that day in court, which is fucking ridiculous. I just gotta be honest, it's fucking ridiculous. But she, like, the jury received the fact that, like, his mental health diagnosis and whatnot was enough for them to understand his outburst in the midst of the trial and whatnot, and da-da-da-da. Like, oh, he's just acting this way because he's stressed out by the trial. He was stressed out by his parents and all of this other stuff, as if all of those things can't also contribute to someone snapping out and committing drop-offs off the earth. Like, there are a plethora of stories and cases of the sort. Anyway, so there are some things I'm gonna wait till I'm gonna wait to the end of the season though. I'm gonna wait to the very end of the season to point that particular aspect out. But so in the midst of her talking to Bill, Jax talking to Bill about the win that they had yesterday in court. Now she basically wants to make it look like he's too stupid to have killed someone because he don't know how to go to the store. He can't pull his pants up by himself. He don't know no passwords and all of this and that. And this, again, it's not that smart because, like, again, spectrum, all the while, out they mind homeless people who don't have the capacity to even know where the fuck they are. There are a lot of stories of them killing people too. There are tons of stories of people being raised as recluses to the illest extent, and that making them more prone to lacking a sense of humanity and being quicker to erase those who are in it. So again, saying that he's too stupid to kill somebody is stupid. It's stupid. But clearly the jurors are stupid. So this could work. But Bill is, like, on the same page as me, and he's like, well, it's definitely interesting. Like, he's skeptical about it, as he should be. And Jax wants to snap on him, talking about, what is your problem? And he like, the only problem is I don't agree with this shit. And she like, no, what's your problem with me? Every time I have a theory or plan or even just the faintest idea, you gotta come with some type of doubt, being a contrarian and all of that shit. Listen, Jax, you seen him talking to Big Daddy and Little Daddy, and now you paranoid and all this and that and the third. But honey, also, him having not been a criminal attorney before would also make it very reasonable, no pun intended, for him to have a plethora of questions about your methods, your ideas, things that you're doing and all of that, especially when all of y'all communicated to him that he needed to be taking notes off of you anyway, because he wants to be partner and he has not done a criminal case. He has not done a criminal case. So either way, amongst the fact that a lot of the shit that you pulled out your axe, Jax, has really been like risky as fuck and really don't make no sense. It's only making sense to people who are clearly fucking stupid and narrow-minded and brainwashed. Like, to someone smarter than a fucking fifth grader, they're gonna have questions. They're gonna question you. And you are supposed to be taking input from him. And again, you not snapping at him because I know, yeah, he been talking to Big Daddy and Little Daddy. He has been doing some questionable things behind her back. And that's why I call his ass bitch ass nigga Bill. And all at the same time. A gift that I have that I am so super duper grateful for myself for is the fact that no matter how much I dislike you, no matter how much I may see you for every single slithering, suffering succotash that you slither and slang out, if you right, I can see that just as clear. And a broken clock is right twice a day. If you got reason for where you at and what's going on, even if somebody is doing you damn wrong, I can see that just as clear. And so therefore, Bill is not fucking wrong in this instant. Like I said, the jury is clearly stupid and brainwashed, so it just may work. But at the same time, Bill is not fucking wrong for questioning this shit. Bill is not wrong for having pause and all of this other shit. Oh yeah, I also forgot to talk about when Jax is there's a small scene where she's talking to Lewis about her day and he's talking about his day and all of that, and Lewis is like, oh, he sounded more like billable bitch because, you know, he's having pause about a lot of things and shit. And I took that as one, Lewis fawning and just, you know, making his wife happy and shit. But Jax is in this moment, she almost says that to him. Like, lately, you're seeming more like billable bitch. You know, she almost says it, but she stops herself before she says it. And she goes off on him. And I'm like, again, just becoming what you despise. Just becoming what you despise because you've completely forgotten what it was like to be in Bill's shoes, huh? Even though you were just there last season. And in certain ways, you're still there because you don't even recognize your own privileges, nor how you're misusing and abusing them. Sound like you just want a bunch of little mamas and little daddies to be around you and blow smoke up your ass. Sound like you don't want actual equity. You want the privilege to be Big Daddy. And just like she wants to call him belligerent, but how is he belligerent for answering the questions that you ask and for giving input as a partner to you on this case? That's what he's supposed to do. That's not belligerence. That's him trying to do his part as a part of the team and you proving the point that you don't work well with others. because you are not so different from the people that you feel are oppressing you and this and that. And again, it's very understandable, right? Because what she's in the process of doing to others has been done to her by the white man, right? But guess what? Just like all those other scenarios that I gave, there are a plethora of black people, people of color, and even quote unquote exotic white people who have been oppressed and turned every which way but loose by the white man. And they seek true equity because that's the representation and the base, the core, and the crown of who they are. And it shows up in their choices and how they use their free will. So no, every single person, black person, person of color, exotic white person or whatever that's been oppressed and put down and all these other things by the white man is not just out here looking for their opportunity to be the rabbit with the gun. Some of them just want to throw the guns overboard and have fucking peace and abundance, spread it across for everyone that is divinely designed for it. So, all of that being said, she's just taking an opportunity to take out her frustrations with the white man on this particular white man. And again, that's not to negate any of the shifty, shady shit that he's done, you know, in the meantime, in between time. I'm speaking specifically and giving just due to where due is just. Because we ain't talking about that. She is conflating issues. She's conflating issues. When you see him talking to Big Daddy and Little Daddy and all this and that, you should have addressed him straight up about it if that's what you was truly, you know what I'm saying, bucked up about. But you want to bring it up in this moment. Like you want to try to passively aggressively address it in this moment because he's just not doing what you want him to do. So you're conflating issues. Your issue in this moment is not him talking to Big Daddy and Little Daddy. It's him having anything else to say other than yes, Jax, sure, Jax, I'll do it, Jax, anything for you, Jax. You want him to be your Little Daddy and he's not doing it. And so you mad. It's not truly about him, you know, it's a light and dark army, which side you choose type shit. It's not truly about that. It's about her, and specifically in this moment, it has more to do with her feeling like someone else is having more of an influence on her than him. And child, I might do a whole video to pick up, to pinpoint the different instances where I pick up Jax having that mentality. Because there are a lot of people that have that mentality. They will conflate issues because they have more of an issue with someone else having what they perceive as control over you, but they want to have all the control. So they're more mad about someone else having influence over you, or you even having the nerve to ask someone else a question, or have even a mind of your own. Like you could have been came up with a thought or whatever, been a thought and believe something totally on your own, but they will make it as, oh, they put that in your head. Someone else is in your ear. Someone else is telling you something. You out there talking to them bitches. And it's like, no, they have an independent thought, an independent belief, and you just mad that you cannot control how they think and feel in this moment. Ooh. And I also feel like, especially with Bill's like revelation of having had a black wife and kids and all of that type shit, Jax pinpointed that as a form of solidarity. Like she pinpointed that like, oh, you on the black side, and that is a very layered concept going on here because like black and white is the colors of justice, and so it's a light and dark army, which side to choose. But this is not a black and white type situation. This case is not a black and white type situation, and that's also what's wrong with the system. All cases are not black or white and cannot be truly solved with logic. Because also, a major thing that a lot of people end up doing and contradicting, being hypocrites and shit, much like Jax is doing through this case, is you're using total emotion. You're using emotion and looping it, lacing it with some facts, which is not right. It's not right. It's not right. It's like you're taking the system and you're just further warping it. You're thinking that you're doing something so different, but you're doing the same thing in just a more warped form. And I do truly believe, because it's reasonable to believe, and I can even pick up on the tone of how, you know, the episodes and such are being presented, especially the more we get into the season and upon the season finale, is that it's a lot of, yes, Jax, sure, Jax, whatever you say, Jax, whatever you need. And that's going to be Jax's downfall one way or another. And it's like, it's set up to have a lot of the audience be like, oh, Jax, they just have to get you, girl. Oh, yeah, they just all against Jax. They just always against Jax. And da-da-da-da-da-da. But in actuality, that's not exactly what's going on here. There are some instances of that, of course, but I got a very strong feeling that that's not exactly what's going on here. And Jax is misdirecting a lot of her anger and trauma. And so, like I said, Bill is stating his case like, look, these are really independent thoughts. I'm not trying to do this. I'm just putting my whole career on the line and whatnot, and you just want me to take every little thing that you say. And so she deduces that, oh, so Big Daddy and Little Daddy must have told you that if you win this case that you'll end up becoming partner and this and that and third. And I'm trying to sit up here, I'm sitting up here trying to think, like, why didn't you think that at all, whether Big Daddy and Little Daddy told him anything based on the conversation that you and him have been having? Like, bitch, even if you could see yourself clearly, why the fuck would you not assume that this case is a huge facilitator towards him trying to become partner? And even if they did say to him, if you win this case, you could become partner. Like, if y'all win this case, you could become partner. Why, like, why does that make him the bad person when all of y'all are in there trying to get it how you live? You've been doing the most. You've been fucking clients and all types of shit. You've been doing all types of shit, you know, all under the guise of trying to become partner, trying to become this and that. You've been doing a slew of reasonable and questionable ass things on your rocky road to Dublin, bitch. And you finally made it to Dublin, and you're still doing a bunch of questionable ass shit. So again, if you saw yourself more clearly, you wouldn't be so goddamn mad at Bill right now. You wouldn't be trying to snap on him and browbeat him for doing the same fucking shit that you and everybody else in that goddamn firm do. Because that's how y'all operate. That's the system that y'all have committed to. So make it make sense. Make it make sense. Because you wanted your credit, you did the most for, you know, to have your input on the last case that you know, were the quote unquote sidekick to cash on. And you wanted your credit, you wanted your accolades from that, you wanted your name on the plaques and the posters and all of that. You wanted that, right? Then you want that as an incentive and as an award, as a reward for the work that you put in on that case, even as a sidekick and even as, you know, other fallouts and overflows from the work that you put in up to that point. So why is he so wrong for trying to do his due diligence as a lawyer in this case as a means to an end to his long-term goal? Now, again, if you want to address him about the shady meetings or whatever you feel like he's doing behind your back with Big Daddy and Lil Daddy, address that straight up. But don't make it about this situation when your real issue is that he's just not doing what you want him to do. Because also, it's unrealistic for you to expect him to only talk to you and certain people in the office, especially if he wants to climb the ladder. Because to some degree, you've had to play ball as well. You only been throwing your dick around this season like Tom now because you feel the privilege to. You wasn't doing all of that shit that loud and that boisterous and that direct and all of that shit over the past couple of seasons because you didn't feel like you had the freedom or power to. Yeah, so this ain't just got to do with feeling like Bill is throwing stuff behind her back and this and that. This is Jax being hyper fixated on control and privilege and wanting to be the rabbit who finally gets the gun. The gun, they run, they both, they reach, they boy, the gun. And child, to put the hypocritical cherry on top of the sundae, she tries to threaten him with telling Big Daddy and Lil Daddy about his divorce from his black wife and how he's fucking her friend and all this and that other shit. And I'm like, Jax, you just lucky he don't know all of your fucking dirt. Like, which I'm sure his stalker ass could easily find out. And this is shit that be pissing me off. You only speaking that strong because you feel the privilege too. You feel the privilege of him not knowing about all of the unstable shit that you got fucking going on in your life and been had going on. All of that cheating and sneaking and dicking that you done on your damn husband, but everybody wants to hold over the fact that he fucked one girl and she so happened to got pregnant when you are also the person that put him up to cheating back. You gave him that hall pass to do so. You just didn't plan for a baby to come out of the situation, let alone the death of that baby to come out of the situation. And imagine if motherfuckers knew about that shit and fucking ran with it. Yeah, so no, shut that shit up. Him getting a divorce from his wife because he can't manage his fucking time good is so not worse than all the fucking shit that you done had going on. Like, I fuck with Jax, but it be shit like that be really be having me hoping that she falls flat on her fucking face. Like, for real, bro. Like, I be rooting for her, but then it be moments like that to be like, bitch, I really hope you fucking lose. Like, I really hope you lose, or somebody just catch you in the street and just beat your ass off GP, because you really be walking around being every fucking thing that you claim that you despise and thinking that you're supposed to be rewarded for this shit. And then everybody is just supposed to pity you because you're the strong black woman that's just been through so much and the world's been hard on. Well, tough tits, bitch. We all done been through some shit. And we don't have the fucking right to go around and putting our dick on everybody's fucking forehead and telling them to eat it in fucking peace. So why the fuck you think that you're supposed to just be allowed to fucking do so? Like, because it's a slew of other people doing so, you know, if more motherfuckers would gain control over themselves instead of trying to control every motherfucking body else, maybe we could overthrow the slew of punk ass, bitch ass motherfuckers that are oppressive as fuck instead of just trying to fucking join them on some weak ass shit, because that's weak ass shit. It don't fucking help you or no motherfucking body else for real. Like, do you see what's going on in the world right now? And I'm talking about in reality. Do you see what the fuck is going on in the world right now with the system and out of the system? That's a result of a bunch of bitch ass shit being normalized and called strength and respect when it's just weak ass, coward ass shit. You only feel big when you can make someone else feel small. You only feel big when someone else actually is small. That's weak. That's weak as fuck. And you giving people rewards for gaining an illusion of power off of weak ass shit. And then you wonder why the system is fucking weak, the world is fucking weak, why the slew of other people in this world and society are fucking weak and stupid and ignorant willfully. You fucking wonder why. That's why even when we watch shows like this and we're going up, you know, we still have to be careful about what we're encouraging in certain characters, even if they are the main character. Even if we can relate to them, it's a such thing as relating to a fault. And we see Jax in particular do that shit a lot to her own damn demise. How many examples do you need? Now the next scene is back real quick. Chelsea, Jax's little sister that they just found out about, Lori Harvey playing her, or let, she done strolled up on Lewis. And is giving him the rundown like, hey, I need to talk to Jax, you need to talk to Jax, we need to protect her from punk ass Paul from being Mary Jane. He ain't shit, okay? He done been a little bit up in my life, but that ain't been no count because all he brought to my life is hell and high water, okay? He ain't bad, he ain't nothing. And we got to do what we got to do to make it do what it do. Lewis looks very afraid of her. It's like very funny to look at because Lewis is quite like a statuesque man and Lori is very much so a lot smaller than him, but he looks terrified of her. And she does say to him like, oh, he must have told you that I'm a dangerous, evil person. He did say that. Punk ass Paul did say that about her. And she like, look, I just want Jax to have the chance that I didn't, all right? She just needs to know the real him, who he is. Lewis is like, look, I'll try, okay? But can I ask you a question? Why do you call him punk ass Paul from being Mary Jane instead of Dad? And she said, because Dad is for fathers like you, not deadbeats like him, or something like that, however she said it, but yeah. That's for real fathers, real men like Lewis, okay? Somebody better put some respect on Lewis' name. Hell. Now the next scene, Daniel, deliver Daniel, honey. Please deliver him. Because I'm afraid that if Kristen delivers him, it's going to be a child delivered unto God in the way that I'm not here for, all right? So he gets up into his fight and he finds a letter from Kristen. And she's talking about, look, I hope the truth comes out, but I doubt that the truth is enough. I love you, but this can't be fixed. Forgive me, Kristen. Honey, so she done absconded, child. She done absconded. And we get a scene of her throwing some stuff over the which way, switching pans, switching cars or something. She looked like she just robbed a bank, okay? It's giving set it off or something. She running on off into the middle of the night. Well, she drove off. Okay, and so she was getting rid of some things, some SIM cards, her phone, throwing away stuff that would allow people to keep up with her, keep track of her, and she drive on off. So we don't know where she's going, honey, but she is going away. Now, we back in court. And ain't none of Ozzy folks there except his daddy. Now, this is very weird. This is extremely, extremely, extremely weird. It makes me wonder, is his mama trying to sabotage him? Is she just trying so hard to self-preserve herself? I don't know. But it is extremely odd that she did not show up for this court case, especially being the day that he is going up there to take the testimony. And maybe that's the reason. He's going up there to testify. She could be scared of whatever he might say. Even if he don't say nothing about her, she just might be scared about whatever he might say. So, he getting up there on the stand, child. It's like that scene on Bring It On where she's walking up there for the spirit stick. Do you want to go my way? Sis. So, he go up there. He do his due diligence with his right hand on the Bible. Do he put the right hand on the Bible? Or he hold it? Whichever one go on the Bible, whichever one go up. He went up there and he did his due diligence. So now, Jack's gonna go up there, gonna ask him a bunch of questions, ask him how old he is, how long you been a working actor. He been a working actor since he was 3 years old. Okay, he's 25, 26, and 9, or this and that in the third. I'm not gonna go through the motions because, like I said, my ADHD amongst the autism within my ADHD cannot bear all of this like smoke and mirror shit. Like to actually communicate the specific detailing of manipulation that's going on that disturbs my system. So I have to just say my sum up of what it is. So of course, Jax is asking him all of the questions to lean towards, oh, when the last time you seen a gun? So you don't know how to hold it. Somebody taught you how to do this, but you don't know how to do that. When the last time you went to a grocery store? Oh, okay, that makes sense. And your fingerprints wasn't on a gun, and it was rope at your cabin. Where did you buy the rope? I don't know. If you bought a rope, where would you get it from? He said, at the store. She said, which store? He like, the rope store. So, a bunch of stuff to give indication of his lack of competency of being a functioning member of society. And so she's trying to point towards, basically, if he don't know how to do any of these basic things, he don't even know where he would get rope from, then how could he kill somebody? Because he's a human being with hands and emotions. He don't have to know how to, and too, the way she keeps describing this also is as if it was covered up so good and it took them so long to find the body, or as if they couldn't find the body and all of this and that. They found their body quick as fuck because it wasn't covered up that good. Like, okay, he don't know where to get rope from, but has it not also been shown that he has a whole machine of a family and some old folks that will facilitate and enable anything for him, especially if it's under the lines of protecting him? Anyway. But so, and going through all of this, he ends up expressing that, I think it was like, at some point, moments or after or whatever, when he got killed, he said that he felt guilty. And so that was like a major, what you mean? But he was saying he felt guilty about breaking his promise to her. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that's a double-edged sword. I feel like he's both telling the truth and lying at the same time. I feel like he improvised on stand once that happened. And Exotic White Man got up, and basically the way he leaned in was like the same thing that I just, but amongst the same thing that I just said about, like, I feel like he's improvising on stand. He just improvised on stand. And Exotic White Man is like, well, so you're an actor and you do improv, so you're capable of memorizing stories and all of that. And on top of that, you're able to come up with stories and such on your feet at the drop of a dime. Yet you claim you couldn't have acted quickly or to manipulate evidence or anything to commit nor cover up the murder. He like, nah, like, what you mean? He like, wow, I mean, your caretakers who have lied and done a multitude of other things to cover up shit for you, like literally saying the shit that I said and pushing him to the point of Ozzy being like, look, I messed up. And he's like, how are you messed up? And he goes into like this tearful monologue type shit saying, I'm not like normal people. I don't know how to do normal things. I never shopped at a grocery store. I've never been allowed to shop at a grocery store. I would go to an amusement park with my friends and things of that nature, how dependent I am on other people. All of that good shit. And that's great. And he put on a very convincing, thing. But I can't latch on to any of that because it doesn't mean that you're not capable of killing someone, let alone sloppily trying to cover it up. That doesn't mean anything to me. I can have compassion for the type of person that he represents and all of that, but that doesn't mean that you can sit up here and play on my top and play in my face and make me fucking accept that all of those things mean that you couldn't have killed her. People was killing people since been pimping, honey. People been killing people since before grocery stores were ever invented. People been killing people since before rope stores was invented. People been killing people since before socialism was ever fucking recognized. So that don't move me as it concerns you convincing me that he is incapable of killing someone. Did he do it or not? We can debate about that, but you're not gonna fucking say that he's incapable of doing it because he has mental illness, because he's been recluse, because he ain't never been to the grocery store, because he don't know passwords to his iPad. Simply being illiterate can also contribute to a short fuse. So being incapable of several things that you feel like you should be incapable of, or even that several other people in life seem to be, or that you perceive as normal, seem to be capable of, can infuriate you and give you a short fuse. Make you very much so capable of killing someone and sloppily covering it up. That shit don't move me. But I'm finna say the audience ends up being moved. I might as well say the audience. The audience ends up being moved in this, that, and the third. And I just feel like, child, well, everybody is out of bounds. And I feel like a part of this too is how deprived people have been of black men showing emotion. And I've noticed this even on a case-by-case basis in regular everyday life, of how women, strong, intelligent, very wise women, have been, even if the man wasn't intentionally manipulating them, but they end up being manipulated and swayed and all this and that because they ain't ever seen a black man cry. And because this black man is crying, they just, oh my gosh, he's just so helpless. Black men cry every day, B. Black men cry every day, and a lot of men in general cry every day, and a lot of men in general cry while beating the shit out of people, including women and children and shit every day. A lot of them cry while they kill people and cry after the fact even. So, again, that shit don't move me, pimpin'. Now as we proceed to give you R&B, motherfuckers, what you need. And what you need is Bill, okay? Bitch ass nigga Bill. So he is out on a town with Big Daddy and Lil Daddy. And they is getting on him because they is like, why did we just watch Ozzy unravel on the stand? I thought you told us that he was not gonna be getting up there. What is going on? Why you didn't give us no heads up? He like, look, Jack's first chair. It's first chair's responsibility to come up with the strategy. He like, hold on. You see a bad bitch coming to you. What's up? Hold up. And he like, baby, you supposed to keep us in the loop to make sure that Jax is staying stabilized. You know what I'm saying? So they don't nothing 69-hour plans. He said, honey, you mean 86? See, you're too distracted. You got too much going on. You need to clock in because 69, that's some more shit. He gonna say, look, either way, we fucked. All right? And he talking about, look, Lil Daddy that is. He talking about, do you even realize what's at stake here? Including for you. And bitch ass nigga Bill say, hold up, bitch ass nigga Lil Daddy. Let me tell you something. If I tell Jax what y'all is up to, then this entire acquisition, whatever the word acquisition, child, this entire acquisition will go up in smoke. And the only thing you'll be 69 in is each other. All right? So, in this moment too, his bitch ass nigga card comes into question, right? Because as he says this, he like, look, I respect Jax, I do. But the truth is, I'm about to go to a very expensive and taxing divorce, and I need this money and this win more than anyone. More than even Jax, probably. So, this is how this is gonna go. Y'all gonna help me help you. So, bitch ass nigga Bill's card, his bitch ass nigga card gets called into question. Just for one reason and one reason only. And this is because, again, this goes back to what I just said about the argument that she and him had. And it clarifies and confirms some shit for me. What I said. This is not a black and white issue. Specifically between her and Bill, and with Bill got going, this is not a black and white issue. This is about Bill accomplishing the goals that he set out to accomplish. And him having a big heart that often gets him, tugged and pulled and puppeteered here and there, but it's giving that as he is and has gotten, because I'm sure that there's some other things going on besides his divorce. I feel like it's something deeper. Besides his divorce and besides his career standing and shit like that. But it's like Bill is coming into an era where he like, look, I'm trying to satisfy every motherfucking body else. And as I'm trying to achieve these goals and expand my heart out for every fucking body else, I'm getting fucking puppeteered and pushed around and left behind and all of this other shit. Very similar to how Jax feels. Very similar to how Jax feels. But I feel like the difference, and I feel like too, because, like shit, this is episode 9. And I feel like a lot of things from this season is going to end up being carried over into the next season, to be honest, because it's just way too many fucking layers and shit to be talking about you going to wrap it up. Honey, this is the end of the episode, and you only got one more episode. So what we talking about? So like I said, I feel like Bill, Tommy, is going to remain through season 4, and I feel like he's going to be a frenemy type to Jax, and I feel like where he is going to be giving her a run for her money is how he better uses his heart space. Because I feel like Bill does a good job at, like, even I see, the similarities of Lewis even. Bill is very heartfelt. And, like, that's what be getting him in trouble and tugged and pulled type shit, like I said. And I feel like he is more adaptive, though. He's more adaptable. He's more adaptive. He's more willing to adapt. He has an elastic heart. Okay? Lewis has a big heart, but it's not the most elastic. It's very much so just wrapped up in Jax. And I know that, like, to some degree, as a husband, that's how it should be, but he should still also have his own sense of individuality and other things going on outside of his job. Like, where's Lewis's friends? Why Lewis ain't got no friends? He ain't never hardly spending time with his brother. We won't never see him, like, go walk on the beach or something. I don't know. We don't see Lewis, like, have his own life. His life revolves around Jax and everything that she has going on, right? And so, all that being said, and Jax avoids the shit out of her heart. She has a big heart, but she beats it the fuck up. She don't tend to it hardly. She, like, damn near demonizes it, neglects the fuck out of it, all of that shit. And that's where I feel like I said, that's Bill's advantage. That is going to be Bill's advantage even more in season 4. He's gonna start using the elasticity of his heart like a mug, and she gonna be trying to figure out how the fuck he doing it. And it may create a situation where she creates a situation or one or the other creates a situation for them to reunite on some shit, for her to get information on, like, what are you doing and how are you doing it? Because why it seems like y'all know the end of the craft where Raquel and the other girl, they walk up to Sarah and they like, do you still have your powers? Cause we don't. And this is not necessarily me feeling like, I don't necessarily feel like Jax's power will be taken away in reality, but I feel like the shift, like whatever shift happens as a result of the fallout between her and Bill, and let alone the case and all of that shit, it's going to end up making her feel way off kilter. Because I can see very clearly that Jax is being set up for a fall. Whether she loses the case or not, whether she wins the case or not, she going to lose. And I've been saying that from the jump. The feeling ain't left, and I just gotta dig my feet in it at this point. Like, because I can't even tell how they're setting up Bill. I can even tell how they're setting up Bill, child. Tisk. So Jax is working on her closing statement, and Big Daddy and Lil Daddy answer to be pickified as MFers that they are. And so they're like, look, you done handled everything like a champ, beautiful, great work and all that. But we was thinking that maybe Bill could do the closing statement. She like, huh? Excuse me, s'il vous plaît? Huh? What you talking about? He like, look, you've been the face of this trial, which is great, you done other things, but it'd be good for the jury to see another side of the defense. And Jax is like, oh, penis, that's what you mean. To some degree, I believe that she is right. So, she like, look, it seems like the only time that we is partners is when we're taking a photo or the client has a little melanin in their skin. Look, let's not play pretend about strategy. It's about comfort, huh? You want Bill to feel like he's safe, easy to rein in. Make sure I don't rock the boat. Well, honey, guess what? I keep the boat above rocky waters. Well, now, Jax, see, the thing is, honey, this where I be with her, and then it'd be just like certain things in the meantime, in between time, of things that she be saying. It'd be like, because also you be calling the rockiness upon yourself also, and it's like, I can't give you that much credit for fixing shit that you broke. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. That's the least you could do, So yeah. And, she goes down the rundown of all of the credit that she has, throughout the case. Her team found the sex tape and, did all of these things, found all of the like big, like, clues and such as it concerned the case. Another issue that I kind of have with this, I don't know, no, but I do know at the same time. I also kind of feel like in this moment in this season, Jax is taking a hell of a lot of credit for shit that she didn't do and didn't think about. Again, becoming what she despised, because it's quite a few ideas and things that she's like flexing and kind of taking credit for. Like, yeah, they're her team, right? So she's the face. Yeah, they're like, an artist who has a writing team, right? All the while, I still feel like, yeah, you're the face and this and that. When we peel back the layers, and she ain't got to do this for Big Daddy and Lil Daddy, of course, because they are them. But when we peel back the layers, Jax, a lot of what you did is mommied and coddled Ozzy and came up with good monologues. You very much so, like, play wrote and directed, but you want to take credit for the dramaturgy's work. And the dramaturgy in theater is the person who does all of the going and finding the historical elements, like even down to a T of, like, for example, if there's a period piece, if the piece is set in like 1920, the dramaturge is responsible for finding out all of the historical significances of that time, finding what fabrics existed only up until that time, currency that existed only up until that time, things of that nature. So in this case, who I'm referencing is like the dramaturge, if you will, is Daniel. Of course, he's the criminal investigator. So you can think of the dramaturge in simple terms, or for lack of better terms, in the theater sense, as the criminal investigator of the play. And again, like, everybody has their role, and they get their credits in the credits and all of that shit. But at the same time, if you're a director and you wrote it and you're a director, so you went based off of what you had at hand. But there's still these other people who had to go way out of their way to fill in the blanks of stuff that you just didn't have. Like, even if you write a piece or you write a song, you still have to do peer review. You still have to have a team that to help review it for you and then put in different things, that you didn't think about. And some of those things might seem small, but actually have major impact. And so, yeah, all of that to say, Jax is getting extremely big-headed, and we want our girl to be confident. We want her to know that she is the shit, okay, and the fart. Take a big whiff, whatever, what have you. However, true confidence really truly lets their work speak for itself. And I do know that is, like, easier said than done, especially when you're in a position where motherfuckers just keep coming with the bullshit. But also, when you're out of the face of that and you're still functioning like they live inside of your head, you got bigger fish to fry. Because now you're handling everyone in every situation through that lens, and that's not fair. That's not fair to the people around you and the other circumstances around you that are not the actual demon that's on your back. Misdirecting energy and anger. But yeah, like, in this moment, she tells them out, she gets them together, and it's basically like, I'm doing what I need to do, and that's on period. Okay? And so it's like, I feel like, she did a great job, like, standing up for herself in the moment, and it even shut them up, I feel like there was more confidence than arrogance in that monologue. I just feel like, in general, you gotta know when to hold them and when to follow them. And them niggas ain't people that you be showing your cards to in any type of way. Like, don't be explaining shit to them. Just, oh, okay. Oh, well, I hear you, but, okay. And then just do what you want to do anyway. Like, stop giving them cards to throw back at you. That's my only thing here. And so, in their final court hearing, Exotic White Man is up there. He's giving his closing statement. He like, look, the evidence speaks for itself. Now it's up to y'all to choose justice for Wendy Collins and convict or sell Edwards for second-degree murder. And then Jax gets up there, and mind you, these speeches are, longer than what I'm giving and more heartfelt than what I'm giving. Of course, you gotta watch the show, honey. I'm giving y'all all of the other things, so, baby. But so, yeah, Jax gets up, and she does her closing speech, which feeds a lot to how society is hard on children. And even, she quotes a South African leader, Nelson Mandela, that is. And she specifies, I agree with the statement, as a black woman, a mother of two, and who was once a vulnerable child herself, and all of this, playing on all of the things. Children can't defend themselves and above all protection, and all of this and that and the third. It's real cute. She lays it on thick and all that. And I'm just like, are we supposed to forget that this is a 25, 26-year-old man? I guess so. Because it's a beautiful closing statement. It's just also, what the fuck they got to do with anything? And this man is not a child. Yeah, he may have arrested development, but he is not a child. And him having arrested development and being an adult that doesn't understand consequences for real would make him even more susceptible to committing heinous crimes that could result in death. But honey, they done wrapped it up, child, so they just waiting for the jury to commiserate and come back with their answers. And so, in the meantime, in between time, y'all know they like to leave off the episodes with some montages with the music. And amongst the montage, Ozzy's mama is at home, like kind of cleaning up, going through his stuff a bit. And she finds this box that's like a capsule, if you will, about him and his dog. And he wrote a little letter like, "Oh, I miss you, buddy. No one loves me like you," and all of that. And so he kept the collar and all the things. And this lets the mama know that, as far as she's concerned, this lets the mama know that Ozzy didn't kill Wendy. I mean, that he didn't kill the dog. This is like a peace offering to the mama's heart type shit that makes her feel like he didn't kill the dog. We also then get Ozzy looking at pictures of the dog, as well as them as in this family portrait, we look really happy. We look pretty normal. Let's go back to that. That's what it's giving, it was a whole family portrait type shit. He was reminiscing. Let's go back to that. So his mama shows up at the door and she like, look, I failed you. I failed you today, yesterday, the day before that. I failed you. When you were 18, when you were 15, 14, 13, 3, hut. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I let all of this drive away between us. And I'm sorry I didn't believe you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is my sorry for 2004. And so they have a very heartfelt tear, jerking, cry, and hug with each other. This is a very, beautiful moment and beautiful scene. So I believed before that he likely didn't kill the dog. After, the first flashback, it was another flashback where he was, talking about it and whatnot. And it was the way that he was acting where I was like, okay, I believe he didn't kill the dog. I do believe that, honestly, my first mind was that, Kristen might have did. Because I was just like, you remember what I was saying earlier? Thought we won't come back. But what I was saying earlier about people who envy other people's influence over you or other things influences over you. That's what I was getting off of that situation, that Kristen being his main handler on some shit and her being lost in the sauce and fading in the background, more often than not, that she probably was envious of the relationship that Ozzy and the dog had, the influence that the dog had over Ozzy, and that she likely did it. And child, in this final scene, we get that confirmation straight from the horse's mouth, because Daniel done went up to the mountain, child. Daniel done went down to the fountain for his soul get another dip. I don't know if it's gonna get it down the way it's gonna dip. I hope it don't dip up out of here. But Daniel went down there to see if he can deliver Crystal. Kristen, my bad. This one is Kristen. Crystal is the one at the office. But yeah, he done went down there trying to deliver Crystal. Crystal up there, Kristen, child. Y'all know who I'm talking about at this point. He up there trying to talk her down. She got a gun. She watching the trial on the phone, and she talking about, he loved that damn dog more than me. I'm really laughing at myself more so the way that I imitated. Because now she is really distraught and disheveled over here with this gun and everything. It's a very scary sight. It's giving Degrassi before Drake got shot, and how that boy, he was commiserating, I can't remember his name, but he was commiserating about what he was about to do. And boy, you could just see the terror in his eyes and his shoulders and his jawline, all of the things. Frightening. And so, honey, I am afraid for Daniel's life out here. I really am like, is she about to deliver Daniel in the worst way? No way, no. So, like I said, he's trying to talk her down off the ledge. She's shaking and quivering and all this and that, but child, why? He get a message that a verdict done got in, and she like, oh shit, I have to kill myself another day. That's about how it just. Cause I'm like, wait, she was up here just distraught and disheveled. I don't know if she gonna do Daniel in or herself, but whichever one it was. He said the verdict was in, and she was like, child, hold on, we'll come back to it. We're gonna have to postpone. Now, in the final, one of the other final scenes, Bill is getting a phone call about his wife wanting more money in the divorce. And he is looking like an anchor got wrapped around his heart and then just dropped through his ass. If you ain't seen it, if you ain't seen him, if you haven't seen the episode, you just make up in your mind what somebody would look like in the face if somebody wrapped an anchor around their heart and just dropped it through their ass. Imagine what their facial expression would look like. But honey, that is the end of the episode. I don't know what to think. I still don't believe, I believe that Kristen killed the dog. I believe that in the first place. But I still don't think that she killed Wendy. And if she did, like I said, I don't think it was a one-person effort. I feel like it was multiple hands in the pot. Child, do I still believe if Ozzy killed Wendy? I feel like he did something. Okay? He did something. Okay? Because also, I haven't forgotten about old girl who he silenced, Cash Doll's character. I have not forgotten about her. And I'm also wondering, like, it's episode 9. Is she gonna come back? Like, is she gonna be in the 4th season? Like, what's going on? Because, like I said, regardless of what happens with this case, I feel like a lot of the characters, even like Ozzy family and shit, I feel like it's gonna roll over into the next season. Because I also feel like this is kicking off Jack's. Because I had said this last season too, from last season finale when her son was going to the performing arts school and all of that was going on, and I was like, she's probably finna start getting into more cases for entertainers. And so then we come here, and then boom, we like about at the end of the season, and I feel like more celebrities are going to start coming out the woodwork on the 4th season, wanting her to take on their case, wanting to, you know, work with her and see if they can get in where they fit in. Like, I feel like she's gonna have hella different types of people, but like specifically celebrities really, really like octopus and you know, like octopus arms reaching out for her, trying to get her to work for them. And I feel like that's also gonna keep her rubbing elbows with him and his family or members of their family, all of that shit, one way or another. I feel like, because it's very tossed up what's gonna happen with his character. Because honestly, and I don't know if I said this in my previous review straight up. I think I said it in probably the first couple of episodes that the person I believe is on the floor, that Jax walks in and is starting to shovel about and all of that shit. One of my guesses was her daddy, one of my guesses was her daughter, and my other guess was Ozzy. Because I feel like, again, and I've been saying this, whether Jax wins or loses, she's gonna lose either way. And I feel like whether they win or lose, Ozzy could freak the fuck out and do something to himself. And it could be him in there laid out on the damn floor. Honey. But child, we gonna see. Because I still got her daddy at the top of the list as well. Not so much her daughter no more, because we ain't really been seeing that much of her. But then that also could be a sign. But yeah. So, hey. I done been fucking recording and talking about this damn episode for about 2.5 hours at this point. And I believe it's about that time where I remind y'all. You give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach a man a fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Y'all go fishing, baby. And with all that being said, Charlie, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milked this cow dry. And I am thoroughly appreciative for the exchange of vibes. And if you're feeling synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quarters for the next time. And be sure to bless that comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you in all ways light, love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.